How you doing? Justin here. Today we are continuing our lesson looking at Freddie King's Hideaway, an all-time blues classic. Hopefully you've seen my lesson on the first 12 bars, which is kind of like the main theme. In this lesson we're going to check out the following 3 12-bar sequences. Each one's got its own little thing going on. Lots of cool riffs, lots of cool things to explore. So let's get checking it out in the close-up. So we're going to do it in 12-bar chunks. Here's a slow playthrough of the first 12 bars that we're looking at today, which is the second chorus. Okay, so a lot of similar things to the first 12 bars, the main head of the tune. So the B section, this second 12 bars, is starting with a trill, second finger going in the second fret of the second string and flicking it off to the open B string. Okay, so no, you don't have to pick all of those notes, just pick, hammer, flick, pick, off you go. Okay, have a listen to the original recording. It's not held for the whole of that first bar, but most of it. And also remember that we've got that little triplet at the end of the A section. So it's 2, 3, 4 triplet. And then... Okay, so the first note is starting on the and after 4. So we've got the triplet, the trill. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, something that you've seen in the first A section, of course. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, just important to get that 4 triplet. And then we're hammering the first finger down from the open G string to first finger, first fret of that third string. Okay, 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Okay, and then we're back into our little rock and roll thing again. Third finger or little finger, whichever your preference is, going down in the 4th fret of the 5th string. We're playing the thicker string with it. 2nd fret, 4th fret, open, first finger going down the 2nd fret. Okay, very common pattern in this song. Then we've got just one little open B string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string, and then the open thinner string. Again, it's the same little motif we've had quite a few times, but he just does it the once. Then there's this little run. Now, I kind of flip between what I think it is. I originally thought it was... Okay, so the open, thicker string played twice. Sorry, 3 times. Then 2nd fret, 4th fret. But I've seen a couple of versions of Freddie playing it now, and I think what he's actually going for is... Here's a full chromatic run-up going open, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th to the open A string. Okay, I would finger at this, open, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger to the open string. While the exact notes aren't so important, what is important here is the rhythm. And it's starting on the 2nd note of the triplet on beat 3. Now, it sounds really complicated, doesn't it? But let's go 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, so from 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and then we're into the next bar, okay, the little A chord. So the easiest way to think of it is that you're just not playing on beat 3. So 3 triplet, 4 triplet, or 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, which the notes really don't matter. It's much more about the rhythm there, and you can choose which one or any one of these different climb ups at any point in the tune, because there's quite a few minor variations depending on how fussy you want to be, like the original recording. Okay, so I prefer the full chromatic climb up, but like I said, I think the record is just open, 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 2nd, 4th fret. Okay, let's cover those first 4 bars again now, nice and slow. So 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, and we're up on the A. Once more, a little faster. 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2 triplet, 3, and 4 triplet. Okay, on the A's, quite simple again, that little riff that we've got. 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret. I think it is 1 and there's a little open string there. This time I think he's playing that top note. I can always hear an extra kind of... Two triplet, 3, 4 triplet, 1. If you want to put in an extra pick there, I always seem to do that. I can't remember if it's actually on the record or not. It's probably simpler. 2 triplet, 3, 4 triplet, 1. 2 triplet, 3. Okay, always worth practicing those things in little cycles, you know. So the A chord. I love that little line there. So after the run, we're back to E. Now this little particular fill is one that's definitely worth cycling and experimenting with a little bit. Very common in this kind of blues where you're mixing up the rhythm and the lead parts. So we've got the E note on beat 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So I'd start with that. 1 and 2 and 3. That's just 2nd fret, 4th fret, the little E shuffle shape that we've used quite a bit in this tune already. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Lots of different variations you can do here. I always thought actually that it was 2nd fret, 1st fret. That's the one that kind of my ears thought it was, but when I'm transcribing it more correctly, it's definitely open G string. Open B string, 2nd fret 3rd string, open G string, and then the open thinner string. So it's worth practicing all of the different variations of that here, whether you're going to the open G with a hammer on, or 2nd fret straight to the 1st fret. Open G, 1st fret, or with a little hammer on. They all work, they all sound cool, right? The original recording, open G. Try all of them and see which one works for you. Again, you're probably going to have to start with doing that nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, get used to it nice and slowly and then gradually speed it up. That is always going to be the best way. Now, the next bar of that E is almost the same, but instead of going, it goes. Okay, we've got that little climb up again. Open B string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, thinnest E string. Okay, this next little section is very similar to the what we had the first time around. So let me play it up into there nice and slow again. 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 triplet, 3, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 triplet. Okay, now we got that little turnaround. Okay, all of it's exactly the same as we had in the first 12 bars, except for the at the end, instead of having that little going back, which is what we get into the B section, we now go. That's it, simply a hammer on, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the 4th string. Okay, let me play now that whole B section one time, and then we'll start talking about the C section. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, that's that B section, or the second 12-bar blues. So now we're into section C, which is relatively easy, actually. I think it's mostly job of thumb this time. There's a lot of subtle things that you can try and pick up on the original recording. I'm going to take you through the basics, but of course, knowing that you should be listening to the original recording to cop the really important stuff. Okay, I'm just showing you the notes. So the C section sounds like this. Now again, there's lots of subtle things going on here that you could get real super fussy about. I'm going to show you what I think is going on most of the time, and then you can work out your own variations depending on how fussy you want to be. The main riff here is this. Okay, that's the riff. It's a little E chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, nice and slowly. Again, it's just E chord. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and this is 3rd fret, 4th fret hammer on the thicker string. I think sometimes you can hear that note in there as well. So he's almost certainly left his first finger down. Okay, it makes it a little muddier. If I was playing it, you know, my way, I probably wouldn't be leaving that note in. I'd just be doing that. But if you leave the first finger, it's a little bit closer to the record. Now it's 2nd fret, 5th fret, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, all on the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, now we just got opened D string, open 4th string, first finger hammering down in the 2nd fret. So now we have a little bit of fun with this climb up again. I think the original recording is open E, then twice on the 3rd fret, and then the 4th fret, moving up to the A, starting on the last triplet of beat 3. So 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. But that kind of feels weird to me, and I think what he's kind of going for, and what he seems to do on other live versions, again, is this little chromatic thing. So I tend to go open, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, up to the A. Not. But again, if you know, I've transcribed this pretty carefully, and there's definitely twice on the 3rd fret if you want to play it just like Freddie. You know, again, these sort of things, everyone plays it a little different. Every cover version you hear is going to be a little different, and it's up to you to decide how close to Freddie's you want to do it, and what feels comfortable for you to make up your own version. Okay, so technically, I tend to go completely up to you. Okay, on the A chord, exactly the same riff, but we've got still the open 4th string to 2nd fret riff on the A. It doesn't kind of move down a string, it's staying the same. Okay, and then it's back to E. Again, we got exactly the same riff, same rhythm, this time going to B. 2nd fret, then 3rd finger's going to slide from 4th fret to 6th fret, then 4, 7, 4, 6, 4, it's going to the 1st finger, little finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, back to 1st finger, and then there's a little trill, open D string to 2nd fret, 4th string, and then the riff again. This is relatively easy, this C section, okay, the 3rd 12-bar section of the song. Maybe play it through once nice and slow. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4 triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 2, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. It's a very, very powerful riff, particularly the way Freddie plays. He's got such strength and such great tone there for this, and real clarity. Just playing with the thumb for some of these sections when you've got repetitive things, as you're going to find out in the next section, actually, when we look at section D, that, you know, you've got to get fairly confident with the thumb about being able to play consistently and quite aggressively and with a good time. It's not easy. I'm still finding it difficult. It's a lot easier to do this with a pick, for me anyway, but I'm trying to struggle through to use the thumb and learn how Freddie did it. And I think it's a good thing for you guys to explore as well, particularly where you're combining the lead and the rhythm. It's really nice to have the thumb being in control of the rhythm and the first finger doing the lead stuff. I think that's a nice thing. Anyway, so one more time, a play through the C section. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're on to section D, which is this bit. Okay, it's quite a tricky little riff, this, because it's nearly all thumb. Okay, if you're playing it with a pick, it's a lot easier. But you know, I think it's worth playing around with these things the way they were actually done, just for the experience of it. But if you're struggling with it, then get your pick out, or try using thumb and first finger, or using upstrokes with your thumb as well can also work. But I'm going for the traditional all down with the thumb approach. So it's quite a simple riff. We're holding the first finger down the second fret of the 5th string, just like a regular kind of E, open E power chord. We're going to play the open thicker string twice. Then we're going to use second finger in the 3rd fret, hammer down the 3rd finger in the 4th fret, and then we're going to play 2nd fret of the 5th string. That's the riff. 1 and 2 triplet, 1 trip and 2 triplet. Now, just to explain the count here, so it would be normal to think of it as 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet. But the 1 and are not straight, it's still swung, so it's actually technically more like 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. I still will count it as 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, just because that's kind of how it's natural for me to count it. But you know that the 8th notes are swung, so it's not 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet. That's weird. It's 1 and 2 triplet, da 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 da. So that riff is played around there for 3.5 bars, and we just change it there, climbing up to the A, where we're going to have 3 triplet, all open strings, then 4 triplet, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret, a little climb up to the A again, okay? So that whole of the first 4 bars of the D section, 3, 4, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, and 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, A. Same thing, just down 2 strings, back to E. Okay, exactly the same thing, just the very last note there on the E. Instead of going, he seems to go and plays that 4th fret one more time. Okay, very minor variation again that you may or may not want to get fussy about, depending on how much of a fanboy you are. When we get to the B, okay, 2nd fret twice, then sliding up from the 4th fret to the 6th fret, then 4th fret on the 4th string, then a triplet on beat 4, 6th fret, flick off to the 4th fret, and 6th fret on the 5th string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 triplet. On the A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 triplet. So almost the same. Open, open, 3rd, 4th, 2nd fret, then 4th fret, flick off to the 2nd fret, and then back to the 4th fret on the 5th string. So B, A. Okay, now we've got a slight variation here on the E. Okay, we're kind of start strumming. It's in prep for the next section, I think. Depends again how fussy you want to be about exactly what notes are played. For the E, it's open, open, 3rd, 4th, all on the thicker string, then open, 1st, open, 2nd. Okay, but it's a little slide in. I think it's probably actually with the 2nd finger. And then there's these bits of chord. It kind of feels strummy to me. What's there? There's nothing on beat 4. There's a little silence before, which is that section we're going to look at in the next video on this series. So let me play through this now, section D, one time, nice and slow. It's a little bit repetitive, so I'm going to try and struggle through keeping my count correct. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 triplet, 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 triplet, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, let me play it once through now with all of those 3 sections joined up together nice and slow. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. There's a couple of things I want to mention about learning a song like this that I think will be really helpful and are actually kind of important. And the first thing is it's really good to try and cop the original version as close as you can. Okay, so really listening a lot to the original Freddie King version, trying to get the right amount of shuffle, the right feel, the right dynamics. If you want to try and use your thumb and first finger, for many of you that's going to be pretty challenging. It's still challenging for me, but I'm really enjoying the challenge of that. It's definitely for me, this song's easier with a pick, probably will be for you as well. So it's your decision as to whether you're going to go for using a pick or whether you use the thumb and finger thing going on. But what's really important is that you realize that it doesn't have to stay Freddie's version forever. So while I think there's a lot of benefits for starting off like that and really trying to get as close as possible to the original version, you don't have to stay there. All of the versions that are, there's hundreds of covers of this song and they're all different. The famous one is Clapton's version off the Beano album, which is very, very different. The way he's playing it, the notes that he's choosing, where he's playing the different notes, it's a different version completely. But it still pays homage to the original one, the time feel and stuff. You can tell that he spent hours and hours listening to the original Freddie King version, played it as close as he could, and then found his own ways of doing it that were more comfortable for him, that suited his style better. So I think that's the journey that you should make, and that's what I would recommend. Of course, you could just start off, play it however you like, really. That's also an option, but, spending a bit of time with the original recording, I think, is important. It'll teach you a lot more than just straight away going into your own one. And you'll hear it in most of the really good versions. You can hear that the guys have listened to the original one and copped it. Although sometimes maybe they've just copped the Clapton one. That's also a common thing. And for me, actually, the first one I learned was the Eric Clapton version, much, years and years before I'd got into doing the Freddie King thing. So, yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. We'll finish off doing this sort of song, the rest of this song very soon. And hope you enjoy it. Have a good one, and I'll see you for more guitar lessons very soon. Please subscribe to my channel if you dig what I do. I always forget to say that. I really appreciate your support. Hope you're digging it, and I'll see you for more very soon. Bye-bye.